All right, let's dive into this explainer and investigate what's pretty widely considered the darkest mass panic in American history. Welcome, everyone. Today, we're exploring a topic that, let's be honest, basically everyone has heard of, but very few actually understand from a factual standpoint. We're talking about the Salem witch trials. But listen, we aren't going to look at this through the lens of folklore or spooky campfire tales. Instead, we're relying strictly on the historical realities to separate fact from myth. Our goal today is to uncover the terrifying truth behind these events. And as we go through this history, I want you to keep one overarching question in the back of your mind. How does a society break down so completely and so incredibly fast?
Part 1. The Nightmare Begins. A Rapid Descent. To truly understand this tragedy, I want you to put yourself in the shoes of someone actually living through it. Just imagine waking up one morning as a completely normal citizen. You're just going about your daily chores, entirely unaware of the storm brewing around you, only to slowly realize throughout the day that your neighbors are suddenly whispering your name.
The terrifying speed of this panic is what really stands out. It wasn't some slow generational shift. It was incredibly rapid. You go from step 1, those morning whispers among neighbors, directly into step 2, sunset accusations. By the time the sun goes down, those mere whispers have already mutated into formal charges. And then the truly horrifying part is step 3, the end-of-week courtroom. In just a matter of days, you are literally standing in a courtroom accused of serving the devil. There's no long investigation, no careful gathering of facts, just a lightning-fast pipeline from neighborhood gossip straight to a trial for your life. It really shows us just how ridiculously contagious this panic was and how quickly normal societal bonds just evaporated.
Moving on to Section 2, Fact versus Myth, Escaping Hollywood. It's time to strip away all those fictional myths to reveal the terrifying 17th century reality.
Pop culture often treats this whole event like a spooky horror movie, dramatized with special effects and supernatural tropes. But we really have to actively push back against that framing. The chilling reality here is that this is not a horror movie. It remains one of the darkest true stories in American history. Real people lost their lives. Real families were totally destroyed. And treating it as mere entertainment, well, that does a massive disservice to the actual history of this American tragedy. So let's talk about the shocking helplessness of the accused and the stark reality of the 17th century courtroom. I mean, imagine standing trial for your life under these conditions. First, absolutely no physical evidence was required, literally none. Second, there were zero objective eyewitnesses to any actual crime. And third, because of how the accusations were framed around the supernatural, you had virtually no chance to defend yourself. Seriously, if you denied serving the devil, the court just saw that as the devil lying through you. It was an inescapable trap. These people faced the ultimate punishment in a system completely and utterly devoid of the legal protections that we just take for granted today. Which leads us to ask, why? Section 3, the 4 Salem Theories, a 330-year-old mystery. As impartial investigators looking back at these facts today, we really need to examine the theories that experts are still actively debating more than 3 centuries later. Even over 330 years later, historians still fiercely debate what triggered this, generally dividing the root cause into 4 main possibilities. First, was it actual witches? Or secondly, was it a highly contagious mass hysteria that simply swept through the minds of the population? A third possibility is calculated political revenge. Did neighbors use the trials as a convenient, terrifying excuse to settle old property disputes and personal grudges? Or finally, was it overwhelming religious fear in an incredibly strict puritanical society? Each of these theories offers a completely different lens through which to view the exact same set of historical facts. Section 4, Events that Changed America, the Enduring Legacy. Because the truth is, the impact of Salem didn't just stop when the trials ended. To uncover the terrifying truth behind these events is to understand a mass panic that permanently altered the architecture of the American justice system. But looking back at those theories of witches, hysteria, revenge, and religion, we have to ask, or is it something even more complicated? You see, the historical reality of the Salem witch trials might not neatly fit into just one of those neat little boxes. It's actually highly likely that it was a complicated, tragic intersection of all those societal failures happening at the exact same time. Think of it like a perfect storm, a situation where intense religious fear fueled a mass hysteria, which was then, weaponized for political revenge. It's exactly that sheer complexity that makes this event forever etched into our history. Ultimately, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final thought. What really happened in Salem? We've stripped away the Hollywood myths, we've looked at the terrifying speed of the accusations, and we've examined the complete breakdown of the courtroom, along with those 4 main historical theories. But the core of this 330-year-old mystery, it still lingers. So I leave you to ponder this. What really caused this terrifying breakdown of society? And when you look at how quickly neighbors turned on neighbors over mere whispers, just how fragile is our own reality today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep asking questions and keep seeking the facts.